Okay, irrational functions that need simplified. Well, this is more factoring. So here we go. Here's the first one right here. So you can see that there's plenty of things that need factored. This x squared minus 4x and x factors out. This trinomial factors into this. This, first of all, an x would factor out of this right here, and you'll be left with x times the quantity x squared minus 16. The x squared minus 16 is the difference of two squares that factors into x plus 4x minus 4. Then at this point, a lot of common factors cross off: an x plus 7 with an x plus 7, x minus 4 with an x minus 4, and an x with an x. And what are you left with? An x minus 3 on the top and an x plus 4 on the bottom. So that's what we're left with. Now, every place that got canceled out, as long as it doesn't remain, it's a undefined point. So the x minus 4's got completely canceled out. What makes that 0? 4. So 4 is an x part of an undefined point. X plus 7 got canceled out. What makes that equal 0? Negative 7. So that's another x part that is undefined point. And then what makes x equal 0? 0. So just set x equals 0, you get x equals 0. So these are the three x values of the undefined points. To get the y part of the undefined points, plug them in to the simplified form. See, if you'd plug them in here, you get 0 over 0. No matter what one of these three you plugged into the unsimplified form, you would get 0 over 0. So you plug them in the simplified form. Plug it in here, 0 substituted in here will give you negative 3/4. So there's a point at 0, negative 3/4. That's an undefined point in the graph. This point here, plug in the negative 7 in there, you get negative 10 over negative 3, which is 10/3. And plug the 4 in, you get 1 over 8. So these 3 points are undefined points. It might say, what's the limit as x approaches 0? The answer is negative 3/4. What's the limit as x approaches negative 7? There it is. What's the limit as x approaches 4? There it is, 1/8. But you have to simplify it first and then substitute them in. Okay, then the other questions are about maybe horizontal asymptotes, vertical asymptotes, and so on. Let's do those things. What's the limit as x approaches infinity? That's a horizontal asymptote question. Look at the powers. Degree on the top is first, degree on the bottom is first. When they're the same, look at leading coefficients. Leading coefficient 1, leading coefficient 1, 1 over 1 is 1. So this function has a horizontal asymptote at 1. And you can't see it real well with that right there, but it does have a horizontal asymptote at 1. X-intercept, set the numerator equals 0, you get x equals 3. There's an x-intercept there. Vertical asymptote, at negative 4, there's a vertical asymptote. And so that's really about all there is on that. Okay, here's sketching a graph of that previous one. Okay, so here's the horizontal asymptote of 1. So it levels off at 1 on the far left and far right. Has a vertical asymptote at negative 4 and a x-intercept at 3. The spots right here are the undefined points. I knew it started off flat line in here, and that's the best I could draw. The flat line spot on out here, it flat lines better. Then it has to go up at this point, at this vertical asymptote. This vertical asymptote was to the first power right here. So it starts on the opposite side, goes through, here's an undefined point. X-intercept right here came from right here, which is the first power, so it goes through. Here's another undefined point, and it flatlines. So that's what this thing looks like. Basically, it's just going to look like a this and a that, because these undefined points, they won't show up. And so again, here it is on Excel. You can't really see on this graph that it does flatline, not at 0. It looks like 0 here. It actually flatlines at 1. Can't see it because it's so high near this vertical asymptote. All right. Here's another one that needs simplified. Division means to flip this second fraction. So I flipped it. See, the x squared minus 3x minus 10 that was on the bottom, now it's on the top. Factor everything. This is x minus 4. This right here factors into x minus 4x plus 2. This factors into here. This factors into here. Cross things off. A lot of things cross off, and you're left with a x minus 4 on the bottom. See, maybe this one crossed off with this one, but there's still an x minus 4 here. X plus 2 is cross off. The x minus 5 is cross off. So you just have this. So this function has no x-intercepts because there's no x's on the top. Has a vertical asymptote at x equals 4 because that was what makes the denominator still equal 0. You don't get any undefined point from the x minus 4 because I know it canceled off, but there's still one that remained on the bottom. So there's only 2 undefined points. That's where the x minus 5 is equal to 0, which is at 5. To get the y part, plug it in. Plug 5 in here, you get 1 over 5 minus 4, which is 1. And also from the negative 2, to get that point, you just plug the negative 2 in here. You get negative 1/6. So That's pretty much everything. Now this one, I'm going to save this one for the next video because it's pretty tricky. So let's do that on the next.